welcome back. Are you wanting some stress relief? Do you know how to meditate? This session is about meditating with mandalas, and I have the stunning, the amazing, the beautiful Carrie Brightwell with me. Hi, Carrie.
Hello, Karen, and hello, everybody else.
Now, you might notice the beautiful background behind her. It is not a fake background. It is the real live Thailand jungle. She lives in Thailand, and so that's what you can see behind her.
And here, you can hear the cicada bugs probably, and you'll definitely hear a lot of the bird song.
Yeah, so we're actually in the jungle. There's this in the jungle, the mighty. Oh, no, that's okay, maybe not. Stop singing.
So singing lessons.
You know. Carrie, welcome back to the summit, because you've been a speaker before, and this is a totally different topic. But before we get into it, let's talk about, if you had a favorite song or a theme song, what would it be and why?
Or whenever anyone asks me about music, I'm like, I don't know is the answer, but anything that is talking about what doesn't kill you makes you stronger right now. And any song that talks about the need and how to tap into persistence and resilience and to keep going, because I've got a lot of stuff going on right now, particularly on the Muay Thai side. Yeah, that just requires me to just keep going, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So something like that would be my theme tune. So yeah, if anyone's got a song, a good recommendation, please let me know, because I'm looking for it.
So just tell our audience what Muay Thai is.
Muay Thai, otherwise known as the art of 8 limbs, it is a martial art that originates here in Asia and is the martial art of Thailand. So it's the cultural sport, if you like. And the reason why it's called the art of 8 limbs is because you not only have the punches, but you have the kicks, you have the knees, you have the elbows, and you have the punches. So it is the most deadliest form of martial art that there is. And I am a Nak Muay, which is a professional Muay Thai fighter. So I do that as well.
Just on the side.
Yeah.
And I can tell the audience that last week when I talked to you, you had a nice black eye.
I did, yeah, and that was just from training. That wasn't from a fight, although we have spoken with one from a fight for me before, but yeah, that was just from training. I absolutely love it. I really love it, and it's such a gracious and feminine art. People don't believe that, but it is.
Oh, well, we'll follow your progress with interest. I love hearing about your fights. So, Carrie, I'm sure if we can recommend a song, we'll get people to put it on the Facebook page under your video, so they can do that. But let's start. If we're going to meditate with mandalas, let's start with what the heck is a mandala?
Exactly. What is a mandala? Not many people are familiar with what they are, let alone as in, like, you know, what it looks like, let alone what it actually is, because those people who have seen mandalas, to them it might just seem like a pretty picture, but actually mandalas are, in a nutshell, sacred geometry. And they are the language of the universe. Sacred because electromagnetism comes in from beyond our universe. So it's sacred, it comes from somewhere bigger than us, right? And geometry because that is the language of our universe. Mathematics is the language. So what you have when you're looking at a mandala is you're looking at a collection of sacred geometric symbols. And as electromagnetism comes into our universe, these electromagnetic waves, which you can't see with the naked eye, they cross. And wherever they cross, at which angle they decide to cross at, they create a particular shape, obviously. And then that shape will then emit or give off a frequency, just like a sound gives off frequency or color gives off frequency, so do shapes. And when you have lots of these shapes together, as I said, you have a mandala. And when you have lots of frequencies put together, you create a resonance. And all of these frequencies, or this resonance, when your eyes look at these mandalas, it stimulates your pineal gland, which is you picking up the mathematical language. I'll pause there.
I was just thinking, what if you're not good at maths? But that was a silly question.
You don't need to be good at maths. Your subconscious is good at maths. Your higher self is good at maths, because it's your subconscious and your higher self and the pineal gland, or your third eye, which actually recognizes the frequencies as the language. They know this language, just you were never taught it at school, which is why you're not familiar with it.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. I'm always fascinated talking to you. So you promote mandalas to heal the mind and the body. So how
Yes.
do they do this?
So as I said, as these frequencies or the resonance is given off or emitted by this collection of sacred geometric symbols, it stimulates the pineal gland. This pineal gland knows the intention or the message that is being given off by this mandala. And it stimulates the pineal gland in such a way that this then tells the hypothalamus, which is part of the brain, to produce certain chemicals called neuropeptides. So depending on what frequencies are giving off, this will say, oh, it's giving this message, produce these chemicals, or it's giving this message, produce these chemicals. And those neuropeptides will then flood the mind and flood the body all the way down to your DNA. So every single cell in your body is completely flooded with these positive chemicals. And what they do is they actually bring your cells back into a state of harmony. Because rather than being flooded with negative or harmful neuropeptides, because we have those as well, like if you watch a horror movie or you listen to some really, really horrible music or sounds, you're like, that's producing negative neuropeptides, which flood the body, which creates disharmony. If you flood with positive, it creates harmony. And then all of your cells are vibrating in a harmonious way, which encourages repair, rejuvenation, and revitalization of every single cell, organ, tissue, bone, everything in your body.
This sounds like too good to be true.
Yeah. Why can you not have too good? Who's told you that you can't have too good?
You can, of course, and this is based in science, right? In neuroscience, in science.
Yes, quantum physics, biology, physics. Science is very slowly starting to be able to tell the story of what all of the mystics and the yogis and the sages have always known for millennia. Science is just starting to keep up.
Yeah, oh, that's fascinating itself. So how might someone bring mandalas into their regular practice as a meditation or as a fun creative hobby?
So I encourage the use of mandalas in 3 different ways. The first way I encourage people to work with them is through the creation of mandalas, the drawing of mandalas in a free form way, to let go of the preconceived idea that you need a compass and a ruler and that you have to know what kind of shape you want to create or what pattern you want to create. Just let the pen flow and allow your intuition to guide the pen to draw this mandala, because as I said before, your higher self, your intuition, they know what shapes you need to look at in order to bring yourself, your mind and your body back into homeostasis or back into harmony. That's the first way to encourage people to draw. The second way.
I'm going to jump in here because I've actually done a workshop with you to draw mandalas. Yes. And you went, go off and draw them. We're in this live workshop and I'm like, I can't draw them. I can't because I might get it wrong. And I was like in fear and I was not going to choose option 1. But actually, when I started to draw and just let go of that fear.
Yeah. And even I started that way. Like, it has to look like this or it has to look like that. It's not symmetrical. This line isn't particularly straight. And again, where do these ideas of perfectionism, because there are no straight lines in the universe for a start, everything is a wave. Where do these ideas of perfectionism come from? Where do these ideas that this is what a mandala should look like come from? Well, there is no prescribed way. So just allow that creative energy, that Kundalini energy to flow through you and to see what comes out, because that is your intuition talking to you when you put pen to paper and you allow that creation to flow.
Yeah. Okay. What's number 2?
Number 2 is coloring mandalas. So if you're not brave or you're feeling lazy, or actually you're just really, really feeling like you want to color one in, then you can either color one in that you have created yourself, or maybe you can take a prescribed or one that somebody has already drawn, and you can start to color that in. Because when you do this, again, your eyes are on the sacred geometric symbols. Just because you're not drawing them doesn't mean that they're not doing their job. So you can color them in, and also working with the colors is a great and wonderful creative way And also coloring them is a wonderful and creative way to allow that energy to flow and to get in touch with the creation, the childlike fun that is within you. You ready for number 3?
Yes.
And number 3 is gazing. So again, whether it's a mandala that has been drawn for you, whether it's a general mandala or whether it's one that you have drawn for yourself, the fun doesn't stop there, or at least the power and the healing potential within the mandala does not stop there. When you have a mandala on the wall, or maybe on your mantelpiece, if you call them that in New Zealand, yeah, or maybe on your altar, if you have an altar, when you have the mandala there, these sacred geometric symbols are continuously emitting frequencies. So they are continuously giving off this resonance, this message into the environment around you. And what I tell people to do, or what I encourage them to do, is when you have a mandala there, is to gaze at the mandala, gaze at the central spot for around 10 to 15 seconds, and then close your eyes and allow the imprint of the sacred geometry to go into the mind, into the body, to encourage that healing to take place. So mandala gazing is a continuous way of bringing that healing into your life.
Oh, I haven't tried the gazing. I'm going to give that a go tomorrow morning and see what
Colouring club.
Colouring club. Yeah, well, so we've already been and done the colouring club since this summit is on, but we have been for 4 weeks. We have had a colouring club with Carrie, been experiencing these mandalas, drawing them, colouring them, gazing with them, and it's something that we all just do an hour a week together as a group, and it's been really amazing. Yeah, that
wonderful opportunity to just bring everyone together, and you spending the time meditating in your chosen way with the mandalas.
So let's go back then. Meditating doesn't have to be this sitting quietly going
No, it certainly does not. And this is something I'm quite passionate about, which is to remove this myth that meditation, like you say, requires you to sit down, still, quiet, doing whatever mudra with your hands. And that's not how it is. And I talk, again, I do workshops and I do give talks on what exactly meditation is. But basically what you're trying to do here is to quieten the mind and observe the thoughts that come. And when you work with mandalas, it's a focused and fun way to get into a meditative state, because meditation is not something you do. Meditation is something that becomes of you as a result of you doing something, whether that be focusing on the breath, whether that be walking barefoot in nature, or whether that be drawing or coloring a mandala. You become meditative as a result. So this is like when you're drawing, when you're coloring, when you're gazing, this is you doing something to bring you to a meditative state. So that's how we meditate with mandalas.
So what can a teacher do in a classroom with these?
All those things I've just said. What I really, really encourage is that you allow the children, the pupils, to be free flow. Encourage them to connect to the creativity that is within them and to let go of any preconceived ideas of what mandalas should be, or the perfectionism around them. I mean, yeah, of course, if they want to use utensils, that's absolutely fine, but just allow them to connect. Maybe you want to pick a theme, maybe you want to connect it to a song, maybe you want to connect it to a particular project that you're working on at the moment, or I don't know, maybe there's a theme that's happening in your academic year. Just allow them to sit down, pen to paper, and be free flow to connect to the creative energy that's already there, and encourage them to find this freedom to express themselves through the drawing and the creation of the mandala. So that would be my recommendation: drawing, coloring, gazing if they want, but free flow and connecting to their intuition.
Which again, when we're at school and there's been so much of you have to do it this way and this is the right way and you get punished for doing things the wrong way, it can be quite scary and vulnerable for our kids to do this, I imagine.
Yeah, the reason why I love the idea of working with mandalas is because it is so fun. Right? It's a fun and safe way for them to practice tapping into their natural creativity, to practice being able to be free flow without any comeback on them. And what's really wonderful, if you set the time aside, maybe on a weekly basis, maybe on a fortnightly basis, whatever your timetables allowed, you'll actually find that the children get really excited to do this. And what I always find with the adults anyway, is once they start, they don't want to stop. Conversation naturally flows, silence naturally comes, but ultimately people just don't want to stop. They want to keep drawing, they want to keep coloring, because there's something just so about it. And so, yeah, if you've got like a rowdy class, maybe try getting them to draw mandalas. That might help, I don't know. But the key is to set time aside. And then, of course, once you've got the creations, they can go up on the wall. And then teaching them that this is them connecting to their selves, the story that's held within them that wants to come out onto the page.
Yeah, so powerful. Any other bits that you want to share about mandalas, meditation before we wrap up, Carrie?
Mandalas are hugely powerful. They are more than just a pretty picture. And if you give it a try and you start to practice working with mandalas or meditating with the mandalas, you might not initially feel the power, but it's definitely there. And mandalas are, as I said, just a wonderful and fun and easily accessible way for everybody to meditate, to gain the healing that is held within the mandalas in whatever way you choose to work with them. So just give it a go, because it's hugely fun. It allows you to connect back to your creative inner child. I've even had some people say to me in workshops that they have been able to remove creative blockages just through finding the courage to try and draw a mandala, or that they've been able to connect back to that inner child again that they had ignored for so long. The workshops that I facilitate, I am blown away every single time at some of the reactions that people have. So just give it a go, is what I say. Just try. You cannot fail.
Yay, what a great message. I know that when I did the workshop with you, one of the other girls on the workshop, she's actually a good friend, and she always gives me those adult colouring in books because she hates colouring in. And so if someone gives her one, they get passed to me, and because I love colouring in. But when she started drawing the mandalas, she went, I have to colour them. And it wasn't until she coloured them that she could give them a name, and they gave it personality. And so suddenly she had a reason for colouring. It wasn't just, colouring for colouring's sake, but it was a purposeful colour. Yeah.
And the way that I work with mandalas, when I'm creating them for the public, I will pick an intention, or I will pick a theme. For example, maybe I'm drawing a mandala that when you decide to work with it, like coloring, yeah, that one. When you're coloring, it encourages or it evokes the sense and the power of strength. And so when you are creating them for yourself, you can think about, why do you need strength, or why do you need courage? What does that mean to you? What's that going to give to you? Where are you not demonstrating strength right now? And as you're thinking about all of these things, I mean, remember, this is the meditative part of it, right? When you're going into the emotions around whatever this theme is for you, you'll see where the blockages are in your life. The mandalas will help you remove those blocks. And then this is part of the healing way. And that's what I'm saying, like when you're working with the mandalas in the classroom, if you have a particular theme at the moment with the children, or you want to encourage or evoke something within them, pick a theme, pick a word, pick whatever it is that you want to do, and encourage them to have that in mind when they're drawing, when they're coloring. As I said, mandalas are hugely intelligent. They know what they're doing.
Wonderful. Carrie, thank you so much for, just giving us a glimpse into how powerful these are and encouraging us to give them a go. And I would encourage people to give it a go as well, and even to do one of Carrie's workshops, because they are amazing. And just being able to unpack what the sacred geometry actually does and is saying to us. It's absolutely fascinating. Carrie, my last question for you today is, what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to, perhaps, that is totally inspiring you?
My life is completely consumed with Muay Thai. and the shamanic work that I'm doing at the moment. So my 2 teachers or apprenticeships, if you like, that I am on with the shaman and with my Muay Thai master. So I don't really have a lot of time for much else. Although one of my very, very good friends has just completed a podcast series called Made with Intention, and I did manage to listen to that. 2 wonderful entrepreneurial ladies who I look up to very, very much, who have created such wonderful online businesses for themselves, made with intention. And they give such great advice on how to create your own business.
Wonderful. I just want to check, how do you spell made?
It's M-A-E-D. It's a play on her name.
Oh, okay. I was wondering,
Yeah.
like M-A-I-D or M-A-D-E, but M-A-E-D, made with intention. So,
yeah, her name is Megan Burke, and so it's a play on her, on Megan, M-A-E-G.
Beautiful.
There we go. We've even got the jungle sounds, look.
Awesome. Awesome. Carrie, thank you so much. Jump on the Facebook page. Let's have a chat. What do you know about how mandalas work? Have you done this before? Would you like to do it? Would you like to connect more with this? So let's have a conversation.